Most respected Professor M.S. Swaminathan ji, fellow panelists and distinguished participants. First of all, I would like to congratulate MSS Research Foundation for choosing this very important theme for consultation and deliberations. In fact, I have just seen from the salient point discussed in different sessions that from that it looks like that this was not just one more seminar on issue of farming system and nutrition, but I would say that this was a seminar with a difference. And really it has touched the chords, it has touched upon various dimensions of nutrition and then pitched in farming system in a very nice way. I rather pity myself that I couldn't be here during the last 2 days to actually hear different speakers because though we are discussing most of these issues in NITI Ayog in different meetings, but I feel that that coming to this kind of seminar and hearing views of people leave totally different impression and impact on you rather than just discussing these things in Delhi. Friends, this is my first visit to this foundation, and I would like to take this opportunity to just say a few things in a minute or two about Professor Swaminathan. Many of you were fortunate to celebrate his, I think, 92nd birthday on 7th of August, 2 days back. I could not be part of that celebration. As you all know, India is fortunate to have a thinker like Dr. M.S. Swaminathan, who has been picking and highlighting major issues that concern humanity and that concern future of humanities. He has been doing this not only for India, but I would say he has been doing it for entire developing world. But in case of India, he has also been putting his idea into action, his ideas into practice. But you talk to people in developing country and other places, they treat him as a guide philosopher. In fact, this year's summit BOT meeting was to be held in Kathmandu. For some reason, the venue has been changed last month, and all the members of BOT, they requested me that when they are in India before going to Nepal, will it be possible for them to have interaction with Professor Swaminathan? So that is the kind of respect which Professor Swaminathan enjoys with the larger community, not only in India, but I will say that across the globe. Though many people call Professor Swaminathan as a father of Green Revolution, but I just find that being a father of Green Revolution, he did not nurture only one child. Not only Green Revolution, he just, you might have observed that, that with the passage of time, depending upon requirement of time, he has been bringing new kind of ideas, new kind of priorities, and new kind of needed solutions for addressing larger good of humanities. When, though he is father of Green Revolution, but when he found that Green Revolution is bringing some problem, so he came with Evergreen Revolutions. And I will be very brief that when he found that Green Revolution was affecting natural resources, it was affecting long run future, and to just have something, some gain in the short run. So he, when he was given the honor of being a president of Indian Society of Agriculture Economics, so in his address, he just said that our emphasis should be on gross nature's product, not on gross national products. So we should be seeing what we are doing in this process of production. And from last couple of years, he has been working like a crusader against hunger, against malnutrition, against undernutrition. So from my side, I would like to wish a very, very healthy and long life to Dr. Swaminathan as a person. I would say that this will serve our selfish goal also, so that he can serve all of us and the humanities at large with his wonderful ideas and with his wonderful contribution to promote larger human welfare. Now coming to this topic of food farming system and nutrition, I would first say something about nutrition, then about farming system, and lastly about a few things about policy aspects or policy support for farming system. As you all know, India is now largely food self-sufficient at macro level, at aggregate level. Though we are still importing pulses, still importing large quantity of edible oils, but if you look at the aggregate level, you will just find that India exports nearly 7 to 8% of its total food production, and we import only 3 to 4% of our total consumption. So overall net, we are a net exporter, and that net amount is that 3 to 4% of our total production. How we could achieve this? It is very simple that in last 50 years since the onset of Green Revolution, if you look at growth rate of food production, it is close to 3%. To be precise, it is 2.9%. And growth rate in population for these last 50 years has been only 2%. So which means that on an average, the per capita production has been rising at 0.9%, and the net impact of that has been that this year we have 84% more production per capita compared to what we had in the mid-60s when we started with the Green Revolution. And if you look at composition of this growth, you just find that it has been much more in case of fruit and vegetable, in case of livestock product, and relatively lower growth in case of food grains. So when we have so much increase in per capita food production, certainly there will be some impact on hunger and nutrition. It's not that you are consuming more, but there is no impact on hunger and nutrition. So we have come out of, I will say, extreme kind of hunger. We don't hear the kind of story which we used to hear in early 70s. In Kalahandi, people died because of hunger and those kind of things. So by and large, you will just find that today people have enough cereal to eat if they want to eat. By choice, our per capita production is declining, that is another matter. And India is the largest exporter of rice in the world, nearly 10 to 11 million tons being exported every year. So we can say that in terms of availability of staple foods, we have been producing, but people would like to consume. One could debate that people should consume more, but they would like to consume. We have been producing that. But if you look at the balanced nutrition, there you find that there are serious issues. And if you look at what the recommended dietary allowance, there you find that there are gaps. So I will say that we have made a lot of achievement, but still many more milestones need to be achieved. We need to we still have a long journey before us, and mainly because in the case of food grain, the composition has changed, which is somewhat adverse for nutrition. The share of pulses has declined, the share of coarse cereal has declined, whereas a share of fruit and vegetable livestock product in the diet has increased considerably. So the net impact, you just see that we have made improvement, but it is not to the extent we would have liked to have during the 50 years with the kind of increase which we have witnessed in case of food, that per capita improvement of 84. but you don't see 84% improvement in terms of nutrition. So there are some imbalances there, which are a matter of concern. Then I would also like to say that we need to improve our understanding of why we have this problem of undernourishment, and we do not have very reliable, systematic, time series data on input side of nutrition. We have very good data on outcome side of nutrition, that you will just readily get percent of children stunted, percent of children who are wasted, percent of children who died before attaining age of 5, anemia among women. So these are all outcomes. I think every outcome is a function of inputs, particular inputs, but in terms of if we want to look at why the situation is such, then if you just want to look at what is the protein intake in different states, among different occupations, among women, men, children, different socio-economic groups, and how it has changed over time, there you just find that we do not have rich data. We have been relying mostly on international irrigation institutions, FAO, and to be honest, I think no harm in using this word, and I am using this word with responsibility, that FAO indicator of undernutrition has been highly misleading. Why it has been misleading? Number one, FAO use a norm of average 1800 kilocalorie per person per year. Whereas our own institution, NIN, ICMR, they will tell you that average is not 1800 what we need. It is the 2240. Urban, rural, it differs, but the average is 2240. So it is obvious that if you will use a lower indicator, you will come out with a lower incidence of undernutrition. And according to SOFI, State of Food Insecurity in India of FAO, only 15% population in India is undernourished. But if you look at the independent research, work by Deaton and others, I also have 2 papers, we just find that percent of population that is calorie deprived in India based on norm of ICMR NIN is as high as 60% or more. It is not 15% as reported by FAO. But because FAO used a much lower norm of 1800 kilocalories, so incident comes out to be much less. The second big limitation with this FAO norm is that they estimate incidence of undernutrition from supply side. They take the data taken from country, that what is the food balance sheet, and food balance sheet we produce our indicators that 85% of total food grain production goes for human consumption, and this 85% we used in 1951, and this 85% we are using today. Whereas again studies show that it is not 85% food grain which goes for human consumption, it is less than 70%. Over time, the amount which has gone for feed, industrial use, that has increased. So availability of food is not 85% of total production, it is less than 70%. That is the second major reason that you find that FAO showing much less in this incidence, whereas actual this incidence is much higher, and our SDG goal, etc., they use this FAO kind of thing. But this year in NITI Ayog we decided to create our own indicator along with that SDG to look at what kind of progress we have made in case of nutrition. So I feel we need this kind of input indicator, what is the protein intake, what is the calorie intake, what is vitamin intake, and all those kind of things. So this is I think very important. Then coming to farming system approach, you know there are 2 approaches in production. One is farming system, another is specialization or monocropping kind of things. If you look at India's history, that traditionally Indian agriculture used to be mixed livestock and crop farming. It was rare that somebody is producing only 1 crop or 2 crops. Generally, since the production was for subsistence, for self-sufficiency, so generally farmer used to grow some cereal, some oil seed, and some pulses, and also used to keep livestock. But over time, and this was okay in terms of say nutrition and also in terms of subsistence. But as economic need of farmer increased, as new kind of technology came, the commercialization consideration became strong. And because of these commercialized consideration, it was thought that if specialization are promoted, you will have much quicker growth than if you promote farming system. So, and in country like India also we have so many examples that when you promote specialization in contrast to farming system, you get growth very easily. You get lot of profit. Like rice wheat in Punjab, Haryana, Western UP, milk in case of Gujarat, apple in case of Himachal Pradesh. So many places you find that through specialization, through monoculture, we were able to achieve quick growth and we were able to give good money to the farmers. But it has consequences. It is true in case of industry that with specialization, with the division of labor, if you specialize in production of something, you get quicker result than if you go for production of so many things at the same time. But in case of agriculture, because there are symbiotic relationships, they are complementarities, so you just find that you can continue with specialization and monocropping up to some point, but beyond that point, you will just find that those contradictions will start appearing. And this is what we are witnessing in case of India, that second generation problem of green revolution and things like that. Therefore, need to just look at this alternative approach, which is being propagated rightly by the MS Swaminathan Research Foundation. But for this kind of approach to serve the nutrition needs, I would like to put 2-3 issues before you. Now you imagine a situation that there are 2 villages or there are 4 villages, they are producing 4 different crops. You get some production, then you tell those 4 villages, don't produce this one crop alone, each of you should produce 4 crops. So all 4 villages, they are growing 4 crops simultaneously. What kind of trade-off involved in this kind of things? Those trade-offs we can't estimate if we look at the nutrition status only of the farmer. In that case, we need to look at the status of the non-farmer also. Like if you promote a farming system at a farm, obviously, since production of nutrition will be balanced, so if there is some relationship between consumption and production, the nutrition intake of farmer who has a farming system will be much better than a farmer who has specialization. But what will be the impact on non-farmers? Because 80% of people in this country are non-producers. They are not producers. Their population is 80%. So if you abandon the specialization approach and you go for a farming system approach, will it result in net addition to the nutrition, or it will leave the total nutrition production as such, or it will cause some adverse effect? These are the kind of things which we need to explore in order to generate a support for the farming system. This is very, very important. The second way out is that, okay, this is one aspect. Farming system approach is much, much superior in terms of sustainability, in terms of ecological consideration. Then it will require that let us not sell farming system only as a strategy which gives better nutrition to the farmer and his family. Let us sell it as a strategy which gives better nutrition, which promotes sustainability, which is ecologically desirable, which will be more resilient, and that kind of things. Then coming to policy aspects, I will just mention only 4 kind of policy support needed for promotion of farming system for nutrition. First is that orientation of our R&D need to be farm system focused rather than individual crop focused. You pick a package of practice of any agriculture university or ICR institute. It will give recommendation for individual crop. If you are growing paddy, apply this kind of thing. If you are growing beet, you apply this kind of thing. It doesn't look at farming system as a whole. I have been saying this in the ICR meeting also, that now the time has come that you just think of some model farming system for different typology, for different agroecology, and just let all scientists sit together plant breeder, agronomist, pathologist, entomologist, you come out with a package for the farming system, 3, 4 type of farming system, along with your recommendation for individual crops. So unless we change this orientation of R&D, you will just find that someone talked about technology, that technology is the prime mover. So you will find that the technology input will not come into farming system, in the growth of the farming system. So that is the first thing I would like to mention. Then second is, I find this awareness about nutrition is also very, very important. Sometime back, I, along with some other people, did a study. It is already published. But we found is that incidence of undernutrition was less among rich people, but it was not missing among rich people. Poor people are more undernourished, rich people are less undernourished, but it is not that rich people have good nutrition. So why rich people are not having good nutrition? Because they are not aware about nutrition. So this awareness about nutrition is very, very important, both about nutrition production and also nutrition consumption. You find many farmers. I come from a village and I have a farm. I visit every month. I ask many farmers, why you are buying this vegetable from market? It was plugged many days back. It has lot of pesticide. Why just on the one of your field and little area you put some vegetable and grow it for yourself? So this tendency of the farmer to depend more on market or to ignore fruit and vegetables, I feel that awareness can play a very important role, that these are the things which are needed and they don't cause much competition with other things. So you grow a little bit more, and similarly this awareness among consumers, that will go a long way in promoting farming system for nutrition. The third policy issue I want to highlight, that you know that if you need policy support, you have to look at what are the development initiative of government. There are many development initiative of states. In fact, state initiative are much more than what are central initiative. We generally feel as if center can do everything for agriculture. I find that it is much more which state can do than what center can do. So if I talk about centers, the 2, 3 initiatives which we have, like RKVY, Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana, it was a very big initiative. Now it is being recast because 12th 5-year plan is over. Along with that, RKVY is over. Now Ministry of Agriculture is coming with a new kind of RKVY. So I would like, based on finding of this seminar, that you send your recommendation to Ministry of Agriculture, if you feel it proper, to me also, that in RKVY this farming system component should be invalid. That when RKVY is giving this assistance to the states for 10 items, this is the 11th item, which is very, very important. This should also be considered for support under RKVY, and RKVY is the major support coming from center for the states. Then lastly, I would like to say that nutrition is quite high on the agenda of the central government. About 1 month back, Principal Scientific Advisor to Prime Minister, though he is a physicist, Dr. Chidambaram, so he was asked to coordinate the effort on this, that how we can address this nutrition, because every time some reports come, IFPRI, Global Hunger Index, all those things. So India is shown in a poor light. That this is a shame that we are 170 position, all those kind of things. We are worse than Sub-Saharan Africa. We are worse than Bangladesh. So government want to do something. That why this is the situation when we are a food surplus country. So that group is headed by Dr. Chidambaram. Already he held 2, 3 meetings. One thing what they have done is that they asked, that group has asked Soumya Swaminathan, who is Director General of ICMR, to lead the group and come out with pragmatic recommendation on linking agriculture and health and how to improve nutrition. Dr. Binod Pal, you might have heard, who is now made member of NITI Ayog. He is a medical person, but he did lot of work on health also. So he is also involved in that kind of group. So I would like to see that whatever your recommendation, that how farming system can address it, they should also be sent to the group, so that in the national strategy it can be included. So these are some of the thoughts which came to my mind. I hope you will find them worth consideration. Thank you very much.